Hi, how are you? How can I help you, officer?
Officer Casey. I'm looking for Tony Penny.
Oh, yeah, sure, I'll get him, no problem. Oh, hey, Tony, I just was coming to get you. Officer Casey needs to see you here.
All right, here we go.
Tony, what are you doing?
That's okay, I'm
Tony,
used to it.
relax. He's here for your ride-along.
Oh, the ride-along.
Yeah.
Oh, for the video. Right,
Yes.
my bad. Sorry about that. How you doing? I'm Tony.
Nice to meet you, Officer
Nice
Casey.
to meet you. Sorry, that was muscle memory from my
Relax,
past life.
relax.
I guess.
Ready to
Okay.
go?
Yep, I'm ready. Ready to roll.
Have a good day.
I get in the front or the back? I can sit in the front. Awesome. All right. Here we go. Wow. It's my first time in the front seat of a patrol car, that's for sure.
Front seat.
Yeah.
You been in the back seat?
I mean, you know, I wasn't always saved. So, yeah, I mean, I've done some things, you know.
Like what?
When I was younger, I was in a gang. A lot of people don't know that about me. I rolled with a gang. We wore blue. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not gonna name any names or anything, but we wore
Like
blue.
The Crips?
So maybe I can't confirm or deny anything, but it might have been. Might have been the Crips. Might have been something else. I don't know. But we were about 20, 30 of us. We would meet. We were real structured. We would meet regularly, like every week, learn new skills and how to do different things. And once you mastered a skill, you would get badges, right? Your gang leader would give you badges. You'd have badges all up and down your sleeves and all that kind of stuff. We would build our own cars, right? And then you would drag race the cars down a hill to see who was the fastest, and whoever was the fastest, you get a trophy. We were outlaws, man.
Isn't that the Boy Scouts?
Well, I mean, you could say it was the Boy Scouts, I guess. Yeah, I mean, but we were outlaws. We were
Sounds
hard.
a lot like the Boy Scouts.
Well, it was the Boy Scouts. It was the Boy Scouts. What is sort of the craziest thing that's happened to you as a police officer?
The most impactful thing I probably ever did as a police officer was probably a suicide in progress call. Get there, and he had cut his wrists and was sitting at the kitchen table, and it was bleeding out, and there was a blood trail from there up to the bedroom. It was really, it was gross at first, and then I just felt so bad for this kid. Like, he was 19, suicidal, and he just looked so hopeless.
Yeah.
Just sitting there. And it was one of those real moments. Seeing the hopelessness and like where he was mentally and what led him up to that point it was really impactful to see that. And he lived, so it was good when he got the help he needed.
Wow.
But it's one of those things where if people are always afraid to say something and like kind of check in on your friends or anything, you know, there's signs. You just gotta ask about it and not be afraid to ask people.
Yeah.
And if they had asked, he probably would never went through with it.
What would you want people to know about law enforcement and you as an officer?
The biggest thing is just have a little understand that we're people too.
Mm-hmm.
We're not. I wear this badge every day at work, but I don't wear the badge when I go home. I'm a person in the community just as much as I am a person to help the community.
Right.
So it's gonna take a lot of understanding on every side there is to come out and just take an extra minute to get to know somebody.
If you see a crime happening right now, are you obligated to stop and get out and do something? And
Yeah.
if so, can I help?
No, you cannot help.
Okay.
No, you'd have to stay in the car, or if it's something serious, I'm gonna have to drop you off, and someone will pick you up.
Wow, you just dump me out of the car anywhere.
It'll be a safe place, but there'll be someone coming by shortly.
All right.
All right.
Officer Casey, this has been great, very enlightening.
Sure, thank you.
You so much for your time,
course.
and thank you so much for what you do for our community. We really appreciate it.
Of course, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks. My pleasure.
I initially became a police officer for what I believe was like security, like the benefits. Something that I know that there's going to be a check that's going to arrive every 2 weeks consistently, and that I would be able to provide and to sustain myself. Then once I became a police officer, and to be honest with you, at first I thought, am I the right kind of person? Maybe I'm too smiley. Maybe I'm too nice. Maybe I'm just too friendly to be a police officer. But you know what I found out was I was exactly what the profession needed. As a leader, as a commander, and even just coming up through the ranks, I found that being exactly who I am and encouraging other people to be who they are, and specifically, don't be afraid to share your faith. I'll share one example. As I went to a call and someone had lost a loved one, which is one of the toughest calls that any officer has to go on. And the person is upset and I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm not arresting anybody, it's nothing, nobody's in trouble. I'm not yet, they don't really prepare you for that particular one in the academy so well. So then I realized I need to do what comes natural to me. And so the person was kind of screaming like, no, no, and kind of doing this and kind of hitting me in the chest. And I didn't know what to do, but I knew what comes natural. And so I reached out and I hugged her. And I did what I want somebody to do for me when I feel like my world is falling apart. And I just whispered, it's gonna be okay, as I walked this person somewhere where they could sit down, because I was afraid she was gonna fall down. And once we sat down, I was like, okay, then what do I do? And in that moment, all I knew to say, just popped right up, was, I just said, are you a person of faith? And she said, yes. And I said, well, how can I help you right now? What can I do to help right now? And she said, do you know how to pray? And baby, I was like, now this is I can do. Yes, I can pray. Being a police officer has provided me with an opportunity to really see things and see a broader view of what's going on in my community, in the world, from another side. The experience is not always good. Not everybody loves the police. I started my career in Baltimore City as a police officer, and people have had some really tough experiences, and they may not be as happy to see you coming because of their previous experiences. And some people just didn't like me because of the uniform that I wore. And I had to get past myself. And I realized it wasn't about me at all. It was about a person who was called for help. And in that moment, it was about them, and they don't have to be happy to see me. We like to joke about it that the fire department, everybody's happy to see the big red truck. But oftentimes, when most folks call the police, it's not a good time in their lives. And sometimes, and a lot of times, somebody's either going to jail or something, the police are taking somebody away. And so I realized I had a lot to overcome. I had to overcome people's fears of the unknown. I had to overcome people's fears of their personal experiences that occurred with somebody else that also wore a uniform just like mine. We have work to do. I'm a bridge builder. We have to bridge the police department with the community. It actually sounds harder than it is. I think that we really just have to continue the work that we're doing, be authentic about who we are, and see people for who they are, not from some preconceived notion, not from what we heard, not because of one incident, something experience we had with one person in that particular group. Isn't it where stereotypes and misconceptions come from? Somebody heard or saw something, nobody bothered to dig deeper or learn more. What would happen if we all authentically wanted to know each other's story?
What are some of the misconceptions that people have about the police and police work, and people watching too much Law and Order and
we all eat
CSI?
donuts.
Well, I mean, I've seen some of y'all at Dunkin' Donuts, so let's not act like
So
that's
we
not
get coffee
real.
from Dunkin' Donuts because it's good.
I've
But
seen
we don't
donuts
always
in,
eat donuts
in
there.
some hands, though.
Well, not this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of which, I got this ticket the other day.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if there's anything you can do about it or not.
Nope.
But no?
No.
Man, okay.
You
I
should
was-
go to court though.
This is the cleanest and nicest police car I've ever been in my life. This thing is nicer than my apartment.